Does it seem like everyone in your family is coming down with something? A cold, a stomach bug, even hand, foot, mouth was going around. All of these symptoms have us on high extra alert with the threat of COVID. So in this week's Mom Squad Pod, I ask infectious disease pediatric specialist Dr. Amy Edwards what we can do to boost our child's immunity.
You never want to put your kid in a hand sanitizer bubble because you have to let their immune system learn how to fight infection. So you actually want them to get these infections because it's a normal and healthy part of life. So what you actually want to do and what parents should be focused on is making sure their kids have a healthy and robust immune system so that these more minor infections like hand, foot, and mouth, the common cold and croup, they can fight them easily and quickly and have the shortest illness possible.
So a little exposure will help, but Dr. Edwards says so will 3 other key factors in their lives: eating well, sleep, and exercise. She says we talk a lot about that when it comes to adults, but exercise and physical activity is just as important for kids. And one of the first questions I asked, which is one that I think you've been asking too, if we are wearing masks, how is it that our kids are getting colds and other viruses? She says viruses spread differently. So not all of them spread through their cough droplets. And that's why it's important for your kids to always wash their hands. She had so much great advice.
Yeah.
She also was saying, Holly, that we're seeing this, we're seeing more illnesses. If you think about it, stress lowers our immunity. And so,
gosh, yeah.
you know, there's been a lot of stress lately. So she says that she believes that that is something that is contributing to a lot of the cases that she's seeing of common cold and hand, foot, mouth, which she even admits during the podcast, the reason why she didn't have her video on, she had to take one of her kids to the doctor for hand, foot, mouth. So she had just gotten back. She was sitting in her car doing the interview instead of being at her desk. So it's happening to all of us.
Yeah.
But I was expecting her to say, well, you got to make sure they don't get these viruses. But the fact that she's saying a little exposure helps them build their immunity is also it was eye-opening to me that I think I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself to make sure that they stay germ-free.
Well, I think with just everything with the pandemic, we feel like nobody wants to get anything.
Right.
Like we're under this, like,
because if you have a
we
symptom,
have a mask on, and, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
and is it this? And so, yeah, that opened up a lot of things for me because I think as moms too, we have the guilt.
Exactly.
Constantly.
The second somebody gets sick, you're like, oh my gosh,
What do
I
we
should've
do?
washed my hands
I
more.
shouldn't have done that.